Welcome. Take It Up with Jessica Lee. I'm here with Bill Harris, who's the Director of Customer Success from 8x8.
Thanks so much for having me, Jessica.
Hi,
I'm really
Bill.
excited to be here.
Well, you know, I think 8x8 has a lot to share, so I wanted to welcome you here. And I know you handle the enterprise clients.
That's right.
And you joined recently. So tell
About
us
6 months ago.
how is things going? I mean, how is the company in this huge UCaaS market?
Yeah. So it's a super exciting company. We're both in unified communication and contact center more recently. And what makes us really great is we're the only company that has all of our capabilities in one platform. And so we have messaging, video conferencing, voice, and now we're expanding into call center. $50 billion market, right, that we're trying to disrupt in UCaaS, and then it's a $10 billion company in contact center.
And you're growing, what, 40% a year or something?
Well, so our enterprise customers are growing at about that rate.
Oh, right, that's phenomenal. That's great.
It's really exciting.
But what are some of the challenges that you're facing?
Well, growth, obviously. Hiring more CSMs, being more productive. But one of the interesting evolutions of our team this last year is that we've moved from not only owning the renewal, but also the expansion piece of our customer.
So adoption, retention.
We own adoption,
expansion.
Retention with renewals, and now with expansion, with add-ons and so forth. And I'm seeing that this is it's a trend that we're seeing in customer success in general, is that evolution of the role of being more commercial. And so one of the challenges, opportunities, is enabling the team to succeed in this expanded role. So we need to make sure we have alignment of incentives. So now the team is on commission, whereas before it was more focused on just retention metrics. And there also needs to be an enablement, of the team. So it's a new skill set that we're teaching the team.
And new tools.
And new tools, exactly, right? And so last year, the team's really focused on what's the existing footprint that the customer has. How do we ensure that the customer is getting the most value out of that footprint, right? So there may be gaps in their usage, there may be new features and functionality that we're rolling out that we need to make them aware of. And then that will drive adoption and drive retention, right? We're now stepping back and looking at, well, what are the company's larger objectives, and what do we have in our product suite that will be able to help this customer? So looking for new opportunities, and that's just a different kind of way of approaching, more strategic way of approaching customers. So I'm super excited about that direction, and kind of training my team on looking at their customers in that more strategic way.
I think customer success is actually a really fun role because you get to do this sales role, marketing role, and support role, account management role. So it's kind of encompassing all of these great part of the whole multiple organizations in one person. Yeah,
so it is. And this is why I love being in customer success. I've been doing it for well over 10 years.
And you were at Adaptive Insights before.
Before I was at Adaptive, we were acquired by Workday. And before that, at a few startups. And I really enjoy that startup environment where we're building that customer interaction. How do we work with that customer from the ground up? So you're right. It's very the types of activities we do are very diverse, and I like to see it both in terms of how we work with customers, but there's also this internal role that we're playing as voice of the customer, and so with the customers, it's about helping them out. Being part of their success, right? I really truly believe that we're there to help them be successful in implementing our tools. So we develop these relationships with our customers, with our contacts, and really help them. The other month we were at a customer and he had just gotten promoted to a VP level and took us out to dinner, and it was really great seeing that. And a large part of that promotion was the successful implementation of 8x8. So super gratifying to see that. We're also, as voice of the customer, we're also doing a lot of internal communication back into our product organization, back into professional services.
Right.
What does the customer want? Where's the customer going?
Right.
And ensuring that our roadmap, our product roadmap, is aligned with our customer's direction. And so that's also a lot of fun. One of the challenges this creates, though, is you can be doing different things every single day, and end up being very reactive. And so one of the skills I'm trying to teach my team is looking at what are their quarterly objectives, setting quarterly objectives, and ensuring that we're doing proactive activities, right, to hit those objectives every day. And so it's operating both at that very tactical, reactive level, but also stepping back. What's the bigger mission here? What's the bigger goal here? Whether it's retention or expansion, right? And making sure that we're making progress towards those objectives.
And have you played around and found out what is the optimal number of clients to handle that gives you that a balance of reactive and proactive behavior?
Right, exactly. And that's a great question, and it really depends on the types of clients that you have. So I've been in organizations where we might have 100, 150 customers per CSM, that type of ratio. They tend to be, smaller customers. The solution is a little bit more simple, right, straightforward, and so supporting them is a bit easier. More larger enterprise customers tend to have more complex solutions, complex organizations, and so a CSM naturally can only handle a handful of those. And so at 8x8, we've landed on, it's about 20 accounts per CSM. It varies though. Some have fewer because they have larger ones, and some have a few more because they have smaller ones.
And do you find that you actually, in your team, have to create new content that will then speak to a certain, say, sector of clients?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, one of the initiatives we're just starting is looking at our customer base and looking at the opportunities to re-educate the end users. So if you think about it, every person at our company is using 8x8 for telephone, for chat, for conferencing, right? And there's a lot of turnover in those organizations. And so when we initially deployed them, everyone may have been trained, but over the months, over the years, right, with that turnover, as much as we help the IT organization, provide material and so forth to help train new employees, there's going to be some gaps that emerge. And so one of the initiatives that we're working on is how do we close that gaps of knowledge? Well, for the very large accounts, we might take a more hands-on approach, right? Go out there, do some education, walk around and desk to desk, and really help them out at that very hands-on level. With the smaller end of the spectrum, we're looking at doing things more at more scale, right? Maybe webinars, maybe short videos, right? Posting short videos. Now, one of the things I like to do is, it's not exclusive. It's not either one or the other. Are there things that we can learn? For example, we have a separate SMB organization. Are there things that they're doing successfully that we can pull up into and make relevant to our enterprise customers? Right. Because just because they're enterprise doesn't mean we can't take advantage of scalable solutions.
And maybe content from marketing or sales enablement. I wonder about that. It's like the product knowledge can help multiple departments in a company. So how much is that being leveraged, and then how much do you have to create your own content?
Absolutely. So we do create a lot of content for new features, functionality, our product, right? And the focus of that is really for new customers, right? And so it's in addition to talking about our products, it's talking about 8x8 and the value that 8x8 can bring to customers. Well, we need similar content for the install base, but through a different lens. They already have purchased 8x8. They're already using 8x8. What they really want to know is how, assuming we have a baseline of usage, how do I use you even better, right? And so the short video clips or other help tools, right? We want to produce through the lens of an existing customer rather than as if they're a new customer.
Yes.
And so that's one of the initiatives we just launched and super excited about. Right now what we're doing is taking inventory of, well, what's all the material that we have available to us that we can use for these video clips, for this training. What I suspect, though, is, again, it's going to be very focused on new sales, not existing customer base.
True. I think if the content is produced out of marketing, often is for customer acquisition.
Exactly.
And so you need specific content to help drive additional adoption of the product, see more value of the product. So therefore, you need your own content.
Exactly.
And so who creates that content in your team?
Yeah, right now. So yeah, projecting forward, I suspect we're going to have to start creating content. And then this is something where, does it make sense to hire somebody? We may not have enough content to produce to hire an FTE. So this is something where we may want to outsource, at least for doing a pilot, right? Seeing how this is consumed, right? I think it's really important to not only create the content but understand who's consuming it. If we send it out to all the end users, right? Is it being? Is the email being opened up?
Yes.
Is the video being watched?
Yeah.
That's super important.
Yeah, having the analytics to track consumption, so you know where to invest further and where to tweak to get better results. Because in the end, you do want to see the additional adoption, retention, and growth of those relationships.
Exactly.
And by the way, regardless, we actually create content, a ton of content for customer success, for marketing and sales enablement.
So that's great to know. Yeah, let's talk about that further.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Bill, for being on the show and talking to us about the exciting world of 8x8 and your role to drive additional growth for the company.
Yeah, this was great. Thanks for having me, and appreciate you inviting me to your show.
There you have it, folks. Take it up with Jessica Lee, Bill Harris from 8x8.